Tabloid Real Life Podcast. Listen in, listen up. Woo, woo. Heather McDonald. Juicy Scoop.
Hello and welcome to Juicy Scoop. I have fun return guests. The hilarious Julie Goldman and the hilarious Brandy Howard. They have their own thing going for many years. They were on my show a couple times now. You got your break by being on People's Couch, a kind of show that has been stolen from you. They do it on 90 Day Fiancé. They're doing it with celebrities now. They did it with other people. They did People's Couch. Wait, you were People's Couch, but
We were
they
People's
did
Couch.
something else after.
Yeah.
They did it on E.
Yeah.
Just ripped from your loins.
The loins are destroyed. The loins have been.
They've been
It's like
ravaged
everything
by
has
Bravo.
been scooped out and put on fire.
The bitterness towards Bravo.
Oh, it's.
I know
it's-
there's
you don't
a
even
lot.
want to be
It's-
affiliated with the
Now,
bitterness towards Bravo.
So in booking you, you're like, I'm not up to date on Bravo stuff. You quit it like a heroin addict quits
It was hard.
heroin.
And it was hard.
was
It was like an
hard.
actual
But
addiction.
breaking news today was something I knew I could share with you because it's before you guys got sober. Okay.
Right, off Brav.
Okay. So you guys, Dina Manzo was an original Real Housewife of New Jersey.
We love her.
She and Caroline are real 100% true sisters. They're two girls of a family of 10. She got married, had her daughter Lexi, got divorced. When Lexi was about 3 or 4, she literally moved in with Caroline Manzo. This is pre the show, and had this great relationship with her sister. And Caroline Manzo's husband, Alfie Manzo's brother, Tommy, who also ran the Brownstone with him, which is where everyone has their fancy weddings, he started coming around. They fell in love. As they were planning their wedding, a lot of people don't know this, she was on one of those shows like I'm a Bad Bride or whatever before Real Housewives. And they featured the Brownstone, Tommy behind the desk. We're going to have our wedding here. How big can the wedding be? Okay. They get married. They're all on Real Housewives of New Jersey. We don't really see Tommy Manzo much. We do see Alfie, who is Caroline's husband. We see a little bit of Lexi. The following year, that's when Danielle Staub is, pisses off Caroline, and Caroline's like, what you did in my family? And it was that apparently Danielle talked to Lexi's dad, husband number 1 of Dina, and somehow he didn't want her to be on the show.
Right.
Or she let him know that something was forged or some bullshit about getting an underage kid, whose parents aren't together on the show. Anyway, she does the show a little bit longer. She leaves the show, Dina, as you know, and we all know that Dina and Caroline stopped talking.
Estranged.
The sisters.
Yes.
Estranged sisters.
Live.
She then divorces. So I'm actually inserting this tidbit that I recorded 24 hours later because I got more information and more clarity about this Dina Manzo case. Okay, so just to be clear, Dina and Tommy Manzo separate in 2015, and she starts to date Dave Canton. In July of 2015, Dave Canton is assaulted in a strip mall with a blunt object that leaves him with a scar on his face. Okay. They never know what happened. They don't know who did it. A month later, this guy named Perna, in August of 2015, has a beautiful, lavish wedding at the Brownstone for 330 people and at a discounted rate. And this is the Brownstone that Tommy Manzo and his brother, Alfie Manzo, who's married to Caroline Manzo, own and run. Okay? Time goes on. They get divorced. Dina and Tommy's divorce is final, I assume. And then in May 2017, Dina and Dave Canton, who are a couple and in love and living in California, go home to New Jersey to attend Adriana Giudice's either christening or some religious celebration. While they're staying at their house in New Jersey, they are attacked by 2 masked men who tie them up, beat them both up including Dina, and steal jewelry and money and other things. And when they do this, they say something like, this is for fucking with people in Patterson or some city in New Jersey. It's terrible. We hear about this. It's awful. A month later, June 2017, they have a very quiet wedding, Dave and Dina, and they reveal later on that they're married. Dave Canton and Dina Manzo get married. So now she's Dina Canton. In June of 2019, approximately 2 years after the 2017 attack on both of them, a guy named James Marinello, he's about 51 years old, gets arrested for the crime of attacking the both of them. And I'm not exactly sure if he was convicted, but he was looking at 20 years. Yesterday, June 29th, 2020, Tommy Manzo, Dina Manzo's second husband, well, Dina when she was married to Manzo, is arrested along with a guy named Perna for the 2015 strip mall attack on Dave Canton, Dina's now third husband. Perna, as you remember, had the beautiful wedding a month later at the Brownstone. And in the indictment papers, it says that they believe that Tommy hired Perna to beat up Dave Canton because he was upset that he was seeing his then wife, in which they were separated, and in return gave him a very discounted wedding at the Brownstone, which he enjoyed a month later. So that's where we're with in this story. Now, whether the attack 2 years later, whether this guy, Marinello, had anything to do with Perna or Manzo, we don't know. Maybe they feel they have enough to get him on this, but not for that. Maybe they're completely unrelated. Seems like some pretty horrible luck. And then somewhere in there, Dina Manzo got a nose job. I didn't know if it's because based on the attack or just she just decided, fuck it. She was beautiful with her old nose, beautiful with her new nose. Glad that she's safe. And obviously, now let's get into the weirdness of what this is even going to make their already weird sister relationship between Dina and Caroline Manzo. Well, this was 2015, so I don't know what sacrament it was. 2015. Someone breaks into their house, ties them up, beats both of them, and robs them. It's horrible. It's one of the reasons she has since gotten a nose job, I believe, because she was so brutally hurt.
Oh, my
Did
God.
she get a nose job?
She did get a nose job
Oh, I
after
wanna see
that. This is unfortunately not the nose job photo, but she was beautiful
she
with
was
the
so
nose.
pretty,
She's
so
so
pretty.
pretty.
Yeah.
And she was on my show. Oh, God. It was before the attack. It was right before the attack because I remember I texted her and was like, are you okay? And at that time, she revealed a lot, which I'm going to share that episode on Patreon this week because it's back in the archives. But anyway, 2 years later, she gets married to the husband, 2017. She gets married to that boyfriend that was beat up.
Canton or whatever.
Yes, they live out here somewhere in Orange County area, okay? Not a public person anymore, whatever. Just comes out today. Real Housewives of New Jersey star Dina Manzo's ex-husband, Tommy Manzo, has been charged with the in-home invasion assault on her boyfriend.
And her.
And her. He hired, okay, he's 55 of Franklin Lakes. He's the part owner of the Brownstone with Alfie, okay? He allegedly hired this guy, John Perna, and in spring of 2005 to assault his ex-wife's then boyfriend in exchange for a deeply discounted wedding reception at the Brownstone's restaurant, okay? The alleged assault happened in July of 2015. In return, Perna held a lavish wedding at the Manzo's restaurant for a fraction of the price in August of 2015. And there were more than 330 attendees at that, and including many members of the Lucchese crime family, which they believe Perna is part of.
Come on.
I was charged with the indictment with committing the violent crime. So they both were just arrested today, Perna and Manzo. And and
I don't know why people always think that we're in the mob. It's so weird. It's so weird. We're not in the mob. We're not in, people always say that about us. It's crazy. Oh, because we're Italian, we're Manzos, we're in the crowd. We're not. We're normal, regular people. We love
Here's
law.
a little bit
30
more.
people is a lot at a wedding.
But here's
though,
a
I will
little
say.
bit more on
It's a big wedding.
Here's a little bit more on the attack, okay? So Manzo and her then boyfriend, now he's her husband, told the police at the time that they were confronted by two men who were already inside the home. One man struck Canton several times with a baseball bat, while Manzo was punched multiple times by the other man. They were both then bound together while the thieves made off with cash and jewelry. Canton, a father to eventually was able to free himself and call 911. They were taken to a local hospital and received treatment for their facial injuries. What's kind of sad about this is when this news came out, a lot of people said, oh my God, she's with a gangster. Canton did something wrong and he's the target.
Oh,
no,
like that, right.
He did nothing wrong. It was the jealous husband that just
Of
wanted to
course, the
fuck them
Manzo
up.
affiliation, of course.
Well,
the
yeah, and they
Manzo.
were always like the Brownstone and da-da-da. It's like,
We drove by the
whatever.
Oh, so here,
Brownstone,
so
and
they
it
were
really isn't
living.
cute.
So Manzo and Canton had already left and were living in California, but came back to go to goddaughter's Adriana's, whatever that was,
Yeah.
the event.
Whatever her
So
thing is.
I mean.
What a nightmare.
Because you guys remember, so Caroline Manzo's father-in-law, he was murdered.
That's right.
And found in the trunk of a car right before or after she got married, Caroline, many years ago. And she would always say, we weren't in the mob, but there was something there where he was almost like a mob enforcer or something. He pissed off the mob. Somehow he wasn't involved in it.
Yeah.
He was a good guy. He pissed them off and died for being, a tattletale or something. That's what always was a story. And then they had this Brownstone.
Which we've seen, and it really is not.
Tell me about it.
we wouldn't get married there. It's almost like a banquet hall.
Yeah.
It
You
just
know.
seems like one of those places where, when I go to Jamba Juice, let's say, in a
Yes.
certain area, like some sort of shopping plaza,
Yeah.
and I see a bunch of dudes standing around 3 different Mercedes, smoking cigarettes, just chatting. I think that we know that they're in some sort of crime syndicate, that they're not waiting for their laundry. Do you know what I mean? The Brownstone is giving you a similar
vibe.
a similar platform, dare I say, for gentlemen of a certain era to come and, front what they're doing.
Well, it's
It just-
money laundering for sure. It serves
sure.
rubber chicken. It's not cute. There's no like beautiful outdoor gazebo with roses. It's like
It's
an
not a
inside
historical castle
There's
where
no
there was-
windows. It's just kind of. It's not a brownstone.
But why did it take so long to do the charges? They
I
just were
think-
scared?
I think murder for hire, any kind of attack for hire, anything like that, from what I've studied, okay, and been a part of, and like with my sister in crimes, it takes a really fucking long time because it's a really hard thing to prove. You have to first of all, you have to find the person who did it. And then that person, are they turning on this person for an easier thing? They've got to have enough evidence. There's got to be enough phone calls, letters, this, that.
Money trail.
The
Right.
discounted wedding.
Yeah, that's where it came back.
Someone,
Right.
so for probably a couple years, maybe they were on it, but they wait really long because they're not going to bring it until they know they can win it.
Right.
Yeah.
So they probably have a shit ton on it. And she probably knew or had some feeling, and it's why she, I think, is living out here, remaining out here, being private, never going back on the show.
Completely
even though people
separated
beg.
herself.
Yeah.
Yeah, even though people beg for her to come back and this
Yeah.
and that.
Yeah.
And
they've
when-
got like 10 siblings that she
There's
also
10 of them, yes.
was like.
And did we
Bye.
ever find out why she... I feel like we never really truly found out what happened between them.
with her and Caroline.
Yeah.
I think, and that's why I have to listen back to my own episode because
right,
there was
right.
It's a
so
long
much
time
that
ago.
she was telling, and basically, I think a lot of it was the show and being jealous about the show and what went on with that. But now I'm like,
I
it
remember
was
one
probably
thing.
all her
She was-
also breaking up with her husband and the husband being
She was
the
good
brother-in-law.
friends with
Right.
Teresa, though, too.
Oh,
and
that's
Caroline
right.
hated
That's right.
Teresa.
That's right. That's right.
Yes.
And I mean, and
That's
when you
right.
meet Teresa, and I'm sure you have, like, listen, the bitch is super easy to be around. Like, she's fun. She's just like talking
So
about,
nice.
like, we could talk to her about prison, just like Juicy
Even
Joe's
Joe.
body, anything.
Yeah.
The brother,
She'll
too.
do anything.
Yeah.
So I think she was just like wanted to stay friends with her friend.
Yeah. Right.
Well, the other
Yeah,
the
yeah.
juicy part that I remember from the show is when there was that moment, which was like the first time I think they actually had like a real reunion because I don't think they really did it with OC, and it was they come back and Caroline's, what you did to
Oh,
my
yes, my
family.
family.
So
Yes.
according
Yeah,
to
oh my God.
So
Dina,
next
she
level.
was like, okay, first though was the whole thing with the book, and that was sort of exaggerated of who brought the book from the library or someone brought it to the hair salon, that whole thing.
Yeah.
But
my
but
God.
basically, according to Dina,
Mm-hmm.
it's more like the producers kind of was like, you need to bring it, Caroline. This is like boring. Something needs to happen. And
Mm-hmm.
then she felt Caroline made a bigger deal out of this whole thing with the Danielle and the daughter and the dad. And apparently there was just more like a conversation between Danielle and the dad. It wasn't that big of a deal. It was,
Yeah.
with her not being on the show, not being on the show. And it was almost like Dina had no issue with Danielle going into the reunion and was like, hey, by the way, don't bring it up, Caroline. Like, we're good on this. Like, don't. And then as the 8 hours went on,
Yeah.
Caroline, I don't know if someone put it in her head or she felt she needed to like amp it up because she knew how much love she got when she was like, we're thick as thieves. Don't fuck with my family. Like, I think she felt like she had to come with it. And all of
Yeah.
a sudden,
Yeah.
Dina was like, what the fuck is this? Like, what?
Yeah.
But when she talked about how she'd moved in with her and they'd had this great fun time as the kids were little and the boys were little, and it was sad that they were no longer
Yeah.
friends, but I don't talk to one of my sisters, so I'm never going to judge someone. I'm never going to be like, blood is thicker than water.
I don't talk to my dad.
No, I'm like,
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
Like, live your life so you can wake up every day and
Yeah.
not have drama. And so, but now you're like, oh, wait, there was this whole other level where maybe she felt she was in this bad marriage and they were protecting, or again, maybe Alfie doesn't like Tommy. Maybe he's like, he's a fucking dick. I can't believe he did it. They're probably horrified. I don't think they were like, hey, Tommy, by the way. But my other argument would be like, if you work at the Brownstone, aren't you wondering why the 330-person wedding was only 10 grand instead
Yeah.
of 450 grand?
Yeah. And they are
Or
business
whatever.
partners.
I mean,
you
yeah,
know.
right.
Because I'm sure if Tommy and Alfie don't get along, he's not going to be like, yo, I'm going to give my homie like the big discount. And he's like, no.
Right.
I
Yeah.
don't, you're But I think they were in on it. And I think she said a million times she wanted to protect Lexi. It was like in the very beginning as her daughter was like maybe in high school.
Yeah, she was
or-
like 13 when the cat was that wrinkly cat.
Botox.
And she
The
was a
cat's name
little
is Botox.
Yeah, and the little and she was like a little cute thing.
Yeah. And she wanted to protect her. And,
Yeah.
wow. And now it makes me think, when is the Kim Kardashian tied up for hire going to come out?
As like
Because that was after that. I think that was
that
2016
feels
or
like it was
17.
so recent. Yeah.
That's got to be. That's never been, really proven who
Right.
did that.
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
And since you said it takes a couple years, the clock's ticking. We need to find out who hogtied her in Paris. I'm dying.
You think there's
Yeah.
more to it than just being like professional Paris like burglars?
I think
We know that's Kim Kardashian. He's staying at the hotel. Let me move my beret over here on my baguette. We're going to get her. Yes.
they dropped the
My
giant diamond in the street. It
Our
was like,
diamonds. Our
you didn't-
Fabergé egg.
Yeah, you didn't find a giant 40
Did they drop
carat-
a big diamond? in the
Yes,
street?
like literally like a giant yellow like canary
What
diamond.
are you
It's like-
doing, Pierre?
Come
I mean,
on.
yeah. It's literally like out of
I think they were, an organized crime syndicate, but I think they were hired, like you said. I think that makes sense.
Wait, I want to go
Yeah.
over to this because since we're on Kardashians really quick. This was kind of good. This was a good thing. Rob is out of the house. He looked happy and he attended
He does look
Chloe's
really happy.
birthday.
Yeah.
He looks really happy right there.
Yeah, he does.
And I think that makes the family really happy.
Yeah.
I'm glad he's out. I live very close to Black China's house.
Well, also these
And
are the amount of insider scoop. You probably
I don't have that much.
You could have
anymore.
looked in the medicine cabinets at the Christmas
I could
party.
have, but I never did.
Yeah.
And now I'm definitely not hanging out. I'm actually closer to Black China. I pass her house all the time. I ride by it. We look at the cars. I see if she's doing OnlyFans shoots in the backyard, which she
Do you
does.
see his car there ever?
I don't know what his car is. I mean, there's always like 5 really nice cars, really expensive cars. And
Well,
no,
she
I've
has a
never
lash
seen
place.
I've never seen her like pushing the babies or anything. Not that she doesn't, but I just haven't been there by that time.
We thought he was going to be. Now you told us, and of course Julie's head exploded because she lives for the Rob update.
Okay.
She looks for him. We watched Kardashians. All she's doing is that
It's like,
Rob.
where's Rob? Why is
Yeah.
he in here?
And like
Why?
if he
Where is he?
walks by.
Where's Rob? Yeah.
But he has lost weight.
Yeah, he's lost weight. That's
But
good.
we did want him to be. I was looking for Dancing with the Stars. Rob.
Well, when it said because on the clickbait was like explosive weight loss from Rob Kardashian or whatever, it's like, oh my God, he's gonna be skinny and I'll fit the way he used to be. And then it was like,
Because he's good looking.
he's good looking and he's but he's in transition. I think he's starting his weight loss journey has begun. He's clearly like I think that he's whatever he's addicted to, he's working through it, and he's clearly on the other side of, or not the other side. He's on the mend.
I hope so. I think there's a lot of things that took him. Obviously, extreme fame and not being with the right girl, then going with the wrong girl, then living in that house with Lamar, and I think they were really bad for each other. All this, and then and then what can you do? But so that was good that he went out.
It was great.
Yeah, we're stoked that he's gonna start coming in.
Yeah, like I hope
smiling.
And he starts to get his. I can't imagine what it's like to be the one boy in a family of all. They're not just women. They're they're the thirstiest women. I mean, you're dealing with women who are. How do you even? Who am I? How am I?
Right,
what kind of man can even compare or be enough for any of these people? So I would imagine he, suffered a lot of mental
and lost a dad
problems.
for him at a very he was the youngest one.
Yeah.
So he was only like 15.
Yeah.
And so good
for him.
But I know it is really hard to lose weight if you're like on any kind of, and you're in an opioid like nightmare.
Yeah.
Which people, allegedly. So that makes me think if he's like past that. That's
That's
great.
what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he's clearly like with Lamar. I mean, he was dealing with some sort of drug addiction, we think.
Yeah.
Well,
what that's some good news. But now you told me you had a personal juicy story about the views Meghan McCain.
Okay.
First of all, I didn't know if you guys know this. A lot of people don't know this. But she is the daughter of John McCain.
My
Senator
father.
John.
My father. My father.
Yes.
My father is Senator John McCain.
Oh, he was?
Yes.
I didn't
and
know
I
that.
am a conservative, and I am on The View, and my father was a baller.
Have you seen that wonderful montage that goes on for over 5 minutes of my father, my father, my father, my father?
Yes, I have it. I've watched it several times.
It's heaven.
And then doesn't it end with Joy Behar being like, well, I'm the daughter of whatever Behar or whatever Joseph Behar. And I was like, oh my God,
she's okay.
So what's the personal story?
Okay. Where do we begin?
Basically, you knew when she said you were at my wedding, Denise. Did you ever know that? So
wait, Denise who?
Oh, okay.
Wait, I do remember this, but Denise who?
She was just some kind of like writer or one
And
of
she
their
was
friends.
a guest on the panel, or
She just commented like, The View, like, what are they?
Basically, The View, like, they need to stop. They're a bunch of, like, chattering chickens who never shut up. It was something
this
very
woman
derogative.
Denise tweeted that.
Yes.
And then she was like, what? You were at my wedding.
All she said was, you were at my wedding.
You were
Denise."
at my wedding, Denise. Like, literally, that's it.
Okay, yeah,
that was
yeah.
the tweet. And we were like, so,
Yeah, okay.
So funny, so good.
And it's the answer now for everything in one's life. You were at my wedding, Denise.
Okay.
So,
Like if your
okay.
friend comes for you on social media and doesn't text you personally, you're like, "You're at my wedding, Denise." Like, as in, you have my number.
Yeah.
Don't go on Twitter and talk.
I kind
talk
of agree
shit.
with it, by the way.
Well,
Yes.
of course.
I
You're
think
at
it
my
is a
wedding,
little
Denise.
weird to be, if you did go and attend the wedding, I know even with people that I'm friendly with, like whether it's the Vanderpump people or stuff, I kind of watch what I say to a point, because I'm like,
You know, though.
that's gonna hurt
yeah,
their
like I'm
feelings.
going to
Right.
talk about it, but
Right.
I'm not.
Yeah.
But certainly not in a tweet. It's more like I would do it on the podcast, where if
Right.
you listen to the whole thing, you realize where I'm coming from, and I'm merely reporting. But I would never just be tweeting like,
Of something really,
Yeah.
really, really mean. It was
Yeah.
really mean.
Yeah.
Now,
I mean-
regardless of what you think of Meghan McCain, that was apparently her friend.
yeah.
She was at her wedding. So
You're at my wedding, Denise.
Denise.
Just use it next time someone's like, Heather
Anytime.
McDonald needs to, and you're like,
You were at my
"You're at my wedding, Denise."
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
why
Yeah.
don't you just text me that if you're mad
Exactly.
or whatever?
Exactly.
So then we got obsessed with going on her Twitter, and it's soothing and annoying and everything, and virtue signaling and recreational outrage and
beyond,
no
beyond.
sense of humor, and it's
no,
just
no, no.
great.
It's great.
And so she tweeted something during the first like day of quarantine.
Yes.
And of course, we're not on social media a lot, but all we could do, just like everyone, we're just like, And she says something. Oh, you know who it was what's that girl's name who was from High School Musical? Who's like, you guys, this is crazy. Yeah, Vanessa Hudgens.
People are dying.
Yeah.
So whatever, they're gonna die.
You remember that, right?
Yes, which she got a lot of trouble for that. Yeah.
Which we living
or
for
like
that
Kelly
too.
Dodd,
Hilarious.
it's thinning out the herd.
And what about even Vicky? Like, we need.
Oh yeah, where's my nails?
Yeah.
I need to get my nails done.
We love it
Vicky
too.
almost
Yes,
said that.
we
Yeah,
live.
okay.
Yeah.
I mean, Vicky. Please never stop.
Never stop.
So she goes on and she's like, "This is just irresponsible and craven."
Right, and we were like,
Meghan McCain to Vanessa Hudgens.
Oh,
Right.
about this. Okay. Yeah.
So then Julie, I think, thinks she means crazens, and she goes, wait, what does she mean craven? I'm like,
we didn't know what the hell she was talking about.
So
I
you
was
thought
like,
she meant craisins, like when a cranberry and a raisin have a baby?
Literally.
Right. Okay.
So
and I know that we can simply look up craven, and I'm quite sure it's a word, but Julie's dying to tweet back. So Julie goes, Craven? Question mark. She like subtweets it. Craven? Question mark. And then Meghan McCain comes immediately back on and goes, Craven, period. And then we were like, oh, she tweeted.
we're friends now.
Yeah, we have nothing.
Oh, she doesn't win whatever.
Yeah, we think we have a full bond.
Right.
Yes.
Our quarantine is made for the next 2 months. It's just nonstop tweeting
we
back
can't
and
stop
forth.
laughing and just enjoying Craven. Craven.
So then Julie then tweeted back a picture of the craisins. Oh, I thought you meant this. And it was a picture of craisins.
Okay. So
And you know how many hours it took
Oh.
to we were just like writers in a writing room, like, okay, should we do the craisins? Is this a good picture? Like, it was hours. It wasn't like off
that
the cuff
picture
hilarity.
isn't good. That's with blueberries.
Yeah.
Just get the one with just the cranberries.
Then
and the
other
raisins.
people were like, craisins really are the business. Like, those are so good. And people like love that.
It goes off a whole other tangent.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then that day we're on the podcast, like our Patreon, like going in and just being like Craven. And then Julie looks up and finds out she's pregnant that day. And when I tell you we lost, if you think my father, wait until I'm a mother, my child,
Yes.
the future of that.
Oh my God.
So did
As
you
a mother,
see, she did say, I still can't shop for a crib
Yes.
in person
Yes.
for my unborn child.
Yes.
And I'm like, I
Exactly.
thought about it. And I was like, oh, you know what? My crib was a hand-me-down for my sister-in-law.
And wouldn't you be glad if you could just,
Like,
you know,
I
everyone's
didn't-
getting them on Amazon.
I didn't go to the...
Oh, everything's being taken away from her. As a mother, I cannot now walk outside into a store and go shopping. My hair, I mean, every single thing she's now, and it's begun. So we see that it's begun. As a mother, it's
And we
begun.
covered that thing on the podcast because she was upset about the thing with Mario Cuomo.
Oh.
Or no, it was Chris Cuomo and
Andrew Cuomo.
What about them?
Okay.
Tell me that
So
story. 'Cause
then-
I don't really watch it. Yeah.
No, it was just her tweet.
It's the
We
tweet.
didn't know either.
What about the brothers?
The thing she said that you said was about this.
Chris Cuomo
Yeah.
on his show had his brother Andrew Cuomo on,
Right.
who's the governor of New York.
Yes, we know that.
So, Chris Cuomo and Andrew Cuomo, for those of you who don't know. Now, I love and have forced Chris Cuomo on her, and I really like him. So,
Well, I like when they like gave each other shit. Like you didn't
Exactly.
call mom, and he's like,
yes.
and you could see his eyes, and like I think people like loved that. Yeah.
Yes.
Julie always says that he'll be like, "Nice job. We're all in politics. Nice, go to your news job," and like
Yeah.
shit like that, like on the thing, and it's so funny.
Their sibling rivalry it keeps me alive.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and part of it is that Andrew Cuomo constantly will say shit to Chris Cuomo, like, you're on the news, I'm a governor. Like, he's just constantly putting him in his place. So Chris Cuomo had on Andrew Cuomo. Andrew Cuomo, to make a spectacle or whatever, showed everyone that we could all be tested for the corona with a Q-tip test or whatever.
Okay.
Right? He did it in his press conference. Chris Cuomo then is talking to him, is like, oh, I can see that you're showing everyone that you had your test or whatever. And he's like, now, is this true or not? The woman who put the Q-tip in your, and then he goes off. He's like, in that shotgun barrel of a thing on your face.
From the woman, is it true? Because the woman put the Q-tip in your nose. Did it get lodged into your gigantic, endless nasal cavity, and she couldn't get it out, and then her finger got lost.
Right, and then it's like, so then he then goes, is this the Q-tip? And it's literally a prop Q-tip.
Yeah.
One, and then another, and then another.
The
bigger,
Q-tip ends up this
bigger,
big.
huge. Okay, it's stupid. I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
They're
Andrew Cuomo is
laughing
like almost
together.
crying.
Yeah.
They're affection like literally moved me almost to having a tear. So
Well, it's like I have boys, so it's like I like that
Love.
like how they fight and then they're fine, fine.
He's like,
you know?
is this the giant Q-tip
Yeah.
they needed for your one nose?
Yeah.
Your humongous nose.
and they were laughing. And honestly, I think it might have actually been in quarantine or whatever the first time I saw human beings laughing
Yeah.
about, you know what I mean?
A serious thing. Yeah.
About this thing that we're all, and it's just like, I literally just thought it was so touching.
Yeah.
So she tweeted that
thing that
that
had- the thing
tweet
that Heather
about
said.
not getting to get a baby thing was because of those guys. Because how horrifying, how awful, how insensitive could you be to do that while I can't go out and get a crib for my unborn baby, my father? Like that's okay. That's where that
My
came from.
father will never get to hold my child
Exactly.
in his arm.
Right. He'll never be able to. I mean, exactly. Okay. We could, yeah. So that's where that even came from.
Yeah.
So then,
she
but
was-
then a story, like Daily Beast or somebody wrote it in a story. This is
Right.
where Julie lost her mind, which was so funny. This is why we thought Meghan McCain was on the level. We could go Craven, and we're all just going to be like having fun.
Right.
The Daily Beast does a story and puts an ugly picture of her. Like, can you believe Meghan McCain and she can't even let Andrew Cuomo and Chris Cuomo have fun?
Have a chuckle. Yeah.
And she's having she's outraged in the photo.
And it's just one of these like you know what I mean? Like mid yelling.
Then all she wrote back was, "Really, you guys, this picture," which I think is so funny. Too.
Which I
Again,
thought was
again,
shows
funny.
a sense
Yeah.
of humor.
Yeah.
Shows like, okay, she's getting it. She's
Like,
getting
really?
it.
Yes.
We can have something. She knows she's gotta know how annoying she is.
Yeah.
And then want to have fun with it. And right? And she's on okay.
She says on The View, "I'm sorry everyone gets triggered when I say the words my father." So I'll just say,
Oh, she has said that.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
'cause she's understanding
finally
that
getting
no
it.
one can
Right.
take it.
Right. So we thought, okay, maybe we're gonna have some kind of fun Twitter, whatever.
Well, the other wait, I just want to say the
Okay.
other thing about the my father thing, which this is not her fault, is anybody in politics that comes on, immediately they sit down and they turn to Meghan and they go, and I just want you to know, your father and I
Right.
used to get
Right.
coffee and
Right.
da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And he was the greatest guy. And even though I'm a Democrat, he's a Republican. And we always have to hear that for 4 minutes.
Right.
Right.
So it's like, maybe the producers could go, hey, before you go out there,
Just-
like it's been a couple years now
Yeah.
and you only have 6 minutes.
Right.
Yeah.
Can I just suggest you don't kiss Meghan McCain's dad's?
I know.
you
We
know,
like
ask
John
for,
McCain
like,
too.
yeah.
It'd be hard.
But like get to move on. Like
Yeah,
we've seen
yeah.
it. Like as
Right.
a producer, I'd be like, can we just cut out that part since
Right.
it's live? Okay, go on.
That's true. And
Yeah.
that's true. And she's
Yeah.
grown
And,
up with
and
that.
she does have like a ton of frame of reference about
Yeah.
all of this crap.
Okay.
and a huge chip on her, you know. I mean, okay. So then what was the
But I just want to say, when all that stuff went down, and I feel like we were on here, maybe we weren't, but with all the college scandal,
Yes.
you came and did our show about
Yeah,
the
yeah,
college
yeah,
scandal,
yeah.
which was so great. She got in a huge fight about she's a
my
legacy,
God.
and there's nothing wrong with
Yes.
legacies, and that's when it really just.
Yes.
And
Oh, the leg. Yes.
Right.
So that's when
that
my
is shit.
father and we're legacies and military and the Point
Right.
Blank or whatever that school's called.
West Point.
West Point.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah.
And that's when it was just like, the insufferable, like,
right?
whole
And
thing.
her level of just never listening. She just
No, she's
never
always like
listens.
she sees what the topic is, and I think she's like, they don't know
Right.
that in '82
Yeah.
my father
Yes.
stood on the steps and so then they were like talking, and she's like, can I have a chance to speak, Joy?
exactly.
And you're like, oh my god, just like
Yes.
yeah. So
Yes.
In this last week, they went to her first, Whoopi.
Yeah.
Because
Oh,
I don't know
this
if you've been
is-
watching it, but it's heaven. They go to her first. It was
which
I don't
they're
know-
all doing it from their houses, right?
right.
Okay.
So they go to her first about the statues, and she literally is doing what you're saying. She's holding the cards. It's to a T what you say.
And like this.
And she's like,
Yeah.
I want to go. I don't want you to start with me. She's waiting for everyone else to say so that she can then
Have-
break it down
Right.
and have the final word.
Which is
She won't
the-
even go first.
Right. So that's her game.
Does
That's the
does
major
her
game.
dad have a statue?
That's a good question.
I don't
Must in
know.
Arizona.
I'm sure there's
he
a
must.
bust somewhere of him in like a school,
They have
right?
a-
You know
there's
what I
a whole school named after him.
I bet there's got to be like a, you know what I mean, like a head.
Yeah.
And he's got USS John McCain. He's a whole battleship named after him.
Okay, so you were going to say something else though. So you had the fun. You said it was
Okay.
really. You thought it was going to be fun because she goes, really that picture, Daily
Yeah.
Beast.
So with
Okay.
that, right? So then, what? So she then goes on The View, and the level once the protest starts and All this stuff goes down. She's virtue signaling and
What's virtue signaling?
So that means when you go on and you're just like whatever, like I would never do that, or this is so wrong. It's like you're so virtuous that you have to then be judging.
Oh, okay.
That's like a social media thing, a virtue signal of like all of your virtues by, I cannot believe I'm outraged.
I'm horrified.
Yeah, and recreational outrage is different because now you're so pissed off about everything.
Well, then the protest happened, and all of a sudden, she thinks.
Well, she did say. You saw the one where she's like outside my
yeah,
my neighborhood,
right?
And that when she
and
wasn't
then she
there,
got caught that she was at the summer home or whatever,
Right.
Virginia.
So that's when we were like,
Right.
very inauthentic,
Yes.
my lady. So we did come a little too hard, and it did take us 6 hours to write the tweet.
Yeah.
And took a lot of prep. We tried to figure out what the tone was. We located a video, someone else much more talented
Yes.
and should, has
Get the credit.
about her going off on the protests.
Right.
Off to the level of just embarrassing.
Yeah.
Like just way on the wrong side of history.
Right.
And it was so well put together. And so then, of course, I make Julie do it because I so it's like, it's soothing my soul to see the picture of white wealth and privilege so staunchly standing on the wrong side of history, and then wrote Craven.
And did she respond?
No. And we were like, And then Julie went on later just to like get soothed by her annoying virtue signaling tweets. And it was like, Meghan McCain has blocked you. And
Blocked.
I thought Julie almost cried. Julie's like,
She blocked me.
how can I look at her tweets now?
What am I going to do? I mean, I know that I said that and sent that tweet and whatever, but there's been so many people say so much worse. And I really genuinely thought that she would come back and be like, say something where, something.
Well, you know how blocking works. Sometimes it just hits you on a day that you're like,
We don't know. We never do it.
oh, really? I had to do it.
Because you just get like, off
I
or
had
what?
something that happened where it would happen a while ago, and this girl just had said shit about me on her local radio show. So it was just only coming from those people in that city. And I was like, that's it. Block, block, block. And it was so fun. And each morning I'd wake up, and I wouldn't have a lot, maybe 5 or 6. And then by like the 4th day, I woke up, there were none left. Because it's like cockroaches, or like the and then you got all the cockroaches, and then maybe one comes back. But then sometimes the extermination really works, and it's over, and you're like, oh, it was very satisfying.
Yeah. But then you're like, where's all the people to block now?
Yeah, but it wasn't a lot of people, but it was like,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a way to like, and so many people with social media during this time have suffered. So it's like suffered. All of us have. No matter what side you're on, someone's going to say, I'm sick of you, or I hate you, or whatever. Yeah. And, I got one the other day that someone said, I don't even think they understood what I was saying, but it was like, it was just, I talked about how I wrote white chicks and how people are saying white chicks now should be removed because it's essentially wearing white face or whatever. And I said, well, that's ridiculous. And we talked about it was my Justin Sylvester one, which obviously doesn't make sense. There's no comparison. And I said, I've never met a white woman that was offended by it anyway, but regardless, it's not even what it's about. So I
can't believe
this
wrote
girl
white
must have
chicks.
been
That's so
drunk.
hot.
She just wrote this. Well, I wrote it with the Wayne's mother, but she just
That's even
wrote
hotter.
this. And she goes, she's like, I'm so sick of your attitude or something. Like, how dare you say this? And I was like, oh, yeah. She goes, how dare you say that white people have face
good
racism?
God.
So I was like, I don't even think that's what I said, but and she goes, and I don't care. If I see you with your kids, I'll still punch you in the face. And the photo of her is her with like a little baby.
Oh my
And so then I was like, maybe you don't know how old my kids are, but I have one son that's like 6'4", so I would
like grown
love
men.
to see you try to hit me in the face. Neither boy has ever been in a fight. I don't even know what they would know what to do, but I assume they would push you away from my face. So I just like, but I was like, I don't even think you understand. Like I was, okay, it's just people
So then
are
did
crazy.
you just block, or that one you didn't care because that's an insane troll?
I think what did we do, Kelly? We may have just left her because I was like,
Yeah.
I would like her to come back.
Yeah, that's kind of
But I
funny.
was like, or did she wake up after having like 12 drinks and be like,
Oops.
what did I even say? I don't even know.
Well,
I like when people are like, oh, take your bad ombre and,
we've had a lot
leathery.
of-
I'm like, retweet. Like, I mean, now I wouldn't do it as much as on people's couch just because even if you retweet something negative, your fans would annihilate
that
someone
does
and then that
happen.
would feel gross. To just
Sometimes if we do share something, we actually have the class to cross out the name.
oh, that's good.
Because we're just like, this is so ridiculous, but
idea.
let's,
Yeah.
I don't need this person then saying, I'm getting death threats,
Yes.
which I'm always like, death threats on Twitter don't count.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
No.
not what Caroline Manzo has gone through.
Right.
This is
Right.
Exactly.
not somebody
Exactly.
writing like,
Right.
I wish you would die. Doesn't, on Twitter, like, relax, don't you need to call the FBI, take a knot. Why don't you just get rid of your Twitter?
Yeah.
Can you do that?
Right.
It wouldn't be the end of the
And
world.
just get rid of it. Don't be like, hey, everyone,
Taking a big
I'm
break.
taking a break. I cannot be on social media. I know that you've been wondering. You're like, you're not taking a break.
You guys probably wondered why I haven't been in your feed for the last 2 days. No, I really wasn't. I follow 600 people.
I mean,
I did not notice at all. Like,
Even for 3 weeks.
yeah.
it's just,
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go back to, you guys, you're into this. You have details on this.
I first
So
want
the
to know
Golden State Killer-
why
what?
are you not up the nuts of this? You're the I listened to your one with that
I know.
hot guy killer. You had your friend on.
Yes. Wait, which one? Hot
Okay,
guy
what's
killer?
the hot guy one from
Ted Bundy?
No, from New York that you said he's called the hot. It was.
Oh, the preppy murder.
She told me about
Okay,
him.
I'll tell you
Right.
why.
That was
you know
such a
what
good
I realized?
episode.
Because I thought the same thing. Heather, what's wrong with you? Why? And I keep calling him the San Francisco killer. It's the Golden State killer. Pleaded guilty to 13 murders yesterday. Why are you not more into this? I'm not into serial killers. I'm into one and done passion
Right.
killing with people with some money.
Okay. Oh, I love like Dominic Dunn.
Anything where it's like you had everything going, not super rich, even just like a cute home. Even maybe like a condo, possibly an
cute
attached
home
garage.
killer.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be, but there has to be a level of you had a nice family. Someone fucked up. Someone cheated with the dentist. Something. You fucked the preacher.
So you like snapped.
That
More
type
of
of
a
thing.
vibe.
Not like years and years of abuse, just like a planned killing where you think life would be better if your wife or husband was dead. And then go on and live your life and years take. This is just like, even Ted Bundy stuff, I'm not overly intrigued with Ted Bundy because it's so much killing, it's so much death.
And that
it's so
preppy guy was one
senseless.
thing.
There
he was
is no
one thing.
point.
But I do want you to know that was like, I love that episode.
Thank
It
you.
was so interesting. He was the original Night Stalker because then there was another Night
No,
Stalker.
the Night Stalker Ramirez,
Richard
who was
Ramirez.
on the dating game, that was
right.
that
That's
was
right.
around here,
Right,
And
is what I
when I
told
was
Julie.
really, really little.
And my dad's a prison warden of like Southern California prison.
wow.
So there's so many things.
Still?
No, he's
Oh,
retired.
okay.
But when I was here, when I was like, junior high, high school, and my whole life. So Richard Ramirez was a huge deal in Southern California. So
What is your dad's opinion of Epstein's murder?
well, I don't talk to that piece of
Oh.
shit. However,
You mean not Epstein? You mean your dad?
yeah, either one of them.
Oh, okay.
But I think I don't know. I'm sure he would. Who
what
knows?
do you think happened?
Well, I definitely think he was murdered in there. You do too, right?
Yeah, I do think he was. Well,
Yeah.
it's either or. Either he paid off someone to allow himself to kill himself and was like, "Don't come around tonight," or he was murdered. I thought it was weird. Where I was like, all I ever heard about prison is that like I would have a very tough time because I sleep with several pillows, and you have like just one pillow, one sheet, whatever. And when they showed that crime scene, I was like, there is like it's like a Bed Bath Beyond in there. There was like 15 sheets. So I'm like, could he, pay with his little stipend for all those sheets? And like, why would you have someone who's suicidal with that many sheets? And so
Julie
and then,
thinks he's
I don't.
too
I
much
think
of a
he's
megalomaniac.
Yeah, I don't think he would ever take his own life. I think that he thought. I think that he thought he was going to get out. I think he has. I think he knows that every powerful man, he's got. There's video somewhere. There's pictures somewhere. There's data somewhere, and he had all of it. And I think he believed that he was going to get out. So,
Which is
I
why
think he
he's
was
dead.
murdered.
okay, so now
I'll
what
look
do you,
right over at Bill
so
Clinton and be
what
like,
do you think
"Girl."
about
Yeah, for sure.
Stephen Bing?
Beyond, I already knew, and I've said from the beginning with Epstein because can't talk shit about Bill Clinton, but I always do. I'm like, he was best friends with Steve Bing.
So for
Clinton.
people, Stephen Bing is also some millionaire, billionaire guy. He is the father of Elizabeth Hurley's child.
I never knew that. Wow.
Yes.
Wow. She really came for that money, honey.
Wow.
And that boy, he's kind of the photo I saw. I thought he was a girl. I think he's sort of just like androgynous, or I don't know, or he just really did his hair really well because he did it like mine, like with a big fat soft curls going back. But like the
wrestlers do.
Yeah,
like a
just,
shiny.
But he's in a suit, but he's
Yeah.
like got a gorgeous model face. I don't know if he's just beautiful. Who cares? But he's beautiful. But what I read is that Stephen Bing like paid but had no relationship with this kid, and so Stephen Bing jumped out of his building window,
which no one does. I think what's his name was thrown off the bridge. Old Tony Scott. I'm like,
who's Tony Scott?
Tony Scott's Ridley Scott's brother. He directed Top Gun.
Okay.
Every good movie.
When did that happen?
Like several years ago, he threw himself off like the Long Beach Bridge because he had brain cancer. I was like, no, I don't think Tony Scott. Let me drive. Actually,
Okay,
he
I disagree with you about people jumping off bridges and buildings.
Wouldn't you find a closer bridge? I don't think you're going to drive to Long Beach.
Well,
That's far.
Wait, this is Tony Scott?
Tony Scott must have lived in either Malibu, Beverly Hills, even if he lived in Hancock Park. Pop over to the LA Bridge or go find a high rise. Long Beach is a little bit of a hike.
Well, the reason I do think people do jump off bridges and things to kill themselves is there was a really interesting documentary, I've talked about it once before, where they set up a camera at the Golden State Bridge and like had it running for like a year, and they saw all the people killing themselves, and the few that did live all said they changed their mind as they were going down.
Oh, I love it. I love that one guy who says like the dolphins pushed him up or whatever. That's the best one.
Oh, so you know that story. Okay.
Yeah,
so I do
the
think
Golden
people
Gate Bridge
do it. And I do
that-
think there's that weird feeling with people when you're looking looking down, and you're just like, I just want to jump. I just want to get away. I want to jump. So I think it's a very common way to kill yourself.
Well,
and I don't think everyone's being thrown off.
They say
but
fear of heights is you're wanting to jump. That they say that's where fear of heights comes from.
Yes,
It's like I'm just going to throw myself off.
I
this.
think about it. I
Yeah.
think about it all the time.
But when you jump
I
off
see
a
it, I
bridge
imagine it.
into water, you are giving yourself, maybe I don't die here.
Right.
When you jump off onto concrete, that's
Yes.
curtains.
Yes.
And it is one common way to make something look like a suicide. I don't think that they all are. But
Okay.
because Steve Bing is so powerful and he's so in that Bill Clinton set.
But I think he knew shit's coming down, and I think he was a lot of people that are not necessarily depressed and crazy from the who's the Ponce guy?
Yeah, the guy, he shot himself, though, the son.
Right, the Shen. Sometimes people kill themselves because their whole world is crashing down. They're not chemically imbalanced. They're not depressed. There is an actual reason. They're going to prison. They're this, they're that. They don't want someone to know the horrible things they did. I think maybe he was depressed too, but I also think he's part of this, and they're right now trying to get these records that were closed that Ghislaine had shared all these names, Ghislaine Maxwell, and
Is that how you say
they
her
want to
name?
open
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
They
okay.
want to open that. And they're saying no because when she gave it, it was supposed to be always, no disclosure. And now they're saying no, we want to see it. But that's where I think maybe there's something there with Stephen Bing, and so
So you think he would kill himself in order
knowing that some shit's going down.
It's possible. It's not impossible. But I do think those guys, with those billionaire guys, are. My belief is their megalomania trumps their fear,
and that money?
and that they could buy off anything they want. So I don't know. Jeffrey Epstein, I would bet money on. Stephen Bing, I don't know.
I think Jeffrey Epstein could have also arranged for that night for him to kill himself too. I think he could be killed, or he could have said, "Hey, you guys fall asleep," or whatever, because I'm going to do it, because he hated being there. He wanted a lawyer. He was like, "How can I have a lawyer meeting all day long?" So
Right. Yeah.
It's hard
Possible.
to. I mean, I'm at this point, even when someone hangs himself, I go, no. I'm like Anthony Bourdain murdered. Harvey
Well, the
Weinstein had him
Anthony
murdered.
Bourdain, I always feel that's weird, because I always feel like you know, as an actor, and he had like a call time the next morning. Like, I just think it's like,
Oh, you're gonna wait?
yeah,
Like,
I feel like
have
you're
this
gonna wait for
commitment.
the season to like,
Right.
that I always feel like suicide happens when you're like, there's a lull in your life. There is no rhyme or reason to it, so
I think that's not. I think that makes sense.
But I
though.
just kind of was like, it'd be one thing if it was like, oh, you know, he was alone for a week, or you know, and then he started getting depressed again. But like, you're eating like crazy food, you know, at 10 at night. You have a call time at 7.
He's
And
smoking
between
cigarettes
that
and gonna
time-
show up and
between that time, you're like, this is it.
yeah.
And that was so weird with his girlfriend.
Oh, with Harvey
right.
Weinstein.
Yes. And
Yeah.
then we found out that she slept with some 17-year-old boy
right.
after.
Right. Or even before. She had done it before, but I thought he might have been even like 15 because he did a movie with her and he was like 15 at the time. But
Oh, maybe have 15, yeah.
But yeah, Anthony Bourdain, and there's always that. Maybe the guy from Soundgarden? I feel like he had a concert the next
yeah,
day.
that guy.
That was weird. It's like he had a concert the next day. Like, you just got so depressed after your show. You leave a comedy show and you're just like,
I'm
wow,
not doing that tomorrow.
sucked.
I'm gonna kill
well,
myself.
no, that part I can understand. I can
no way.
definitely understand killing yourself after a stand-up show, for sure.
I mean, you have not bombed in like probably like over 20 years?
I don't think it's been over 20 years. But no, I mean, I've been lucky lately. If I go to a show, it's a pretty positive experience. But, you know,
Have you considered suicide as you have not been able to perform?
absolutely not. I listen, when I get there, you guys, I will love it. When I'm on stage, I will love it. But not doing it, I am not one of those people that's like crawling out of my skin, missing it. Because I didn't do it for 7 years and I didn't miss it at all. Like, I did it in my 20s. I stopped doing it for 7 years. Then I started doing it again. And I love it. But like, I always remember like that Joan Rivers was like, I'm only happy on stage. And I was like, oh God, that's not me.
Yeah.
I'm like happy in the jacuzzi with a glass of wine with my kids. Like,
Yeah.
I'm pretty happy like on doing other things.
Yeah.
It's something I enjoy doing. It's the ultimate high. It's the hardest art of what we do. So if you do well on it, it's just like feels amazing. But
It's always fun to
also
make money for something that
it's also
is fun.
really stressful. Like, I've had like bad like anxiety stand-up dreams now because I haven't done it in so long. I had a dream I was doing a show the other day and I didn't have my notebook. I couldn't remember one joke. And I'm like, what am I doing? Why didn't I just at least review it before I got on stage? Like, where is it? Like, so it is weird the longer we go without doing it.
Yeah.
But again, it's also nice because we're all in the same boat. Like, I'd be having more anxiety if everybody was doing it
Right.
and I was just being lazy. I'm like, we're all in the
Right.
same boat. When I do go back in August, you know, I'll be excited and people will be excited. But also, I think, and warning the people, like the expectations will be a little lower. 'Cause
Right.
I'm not. It's not like, hey, coming off 40 shows in a row, like, you know. So I hopefully when people do go to any show, mine or anybody else's, they'll be a little sympathetic to the fact that like it is a muscle like working out. And if you haven't been up there, you're
Yeah.
not going to be as flow. You're not going to remember like the jokes. You're just.
We don't even know how to drive normally right now. You know what I mean? I find driving to be somewhat weird. Like I backed into a thing. Like I just,
Oh,
you know what I
just had
mean?
a little accident.
Yeah, but it's just like I feel even when driving, people are across the board the muscle of interacting, driving, shopping, people getting in weird fight. It's just like everyone's
Yes.
in weird. In like has been
Did
stuck
you
at home, so
did
they
you
feel
watch
there's
the Netflix movie Bird Box or whatever that was?
no,
The bird.
I didn't watch that.
No, what's
That's
it
with
about?
Sandra.
Wait, Sandra
right?
Bullock.
Yeah.
Where it was, what was that? It wasn't called Bird Box. What was it called?
Is that where they're blinded?
They're
Yeah.
blindfolded. But the way the movie starts is she's like watching something and they're like, we don't know what's going on in Europe. People are just like killing themselves. Like people are driving into cars and she's like, this is so weird. She picks up her sister and they like are leaving the hospital. And then all of a sudden she's walking out of the hospital and people just like start throwing themselves off of
I did
things.
see it.
And then she goes, that same thing that's happening in Europe is happening here. And it's like, if they look up and they see this alien thing, if they like, you know how it's like, don't look when there's an eclipse. Like if they do something like that and it hits you, then you're all of a sudden have this desire to like kill yourself. So
Or
then,
to do your worst fear or something, isn't it? Like
no,
that?
it's like
Or-
kill yourself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But the way the
I must
but
be staring
I
at that
feel
like once an hour.
I feel like so many things that are happening now is the opening to like a sci-fi movie. Like when I'm watching
Yes.
like a news lady like going, and we had another experience with what's known as the Karen or whatever, and then like it's just a woman just throwing groceries.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is exactly like that movie where it's like people are literally going crazy. They've got to know there's cameras everywhere and they still don't give a shit,
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean,
We were watching a game show with my son, and the guy goes, it's some like Press Your Luck, which like we watch all these dumb things, but it's on ABC.
Oh, where it's like no whammies?
Yes,
That's back?
Yeah, and
we love game shows.
yeah, and so she's like, oh, and he's like, well, I'm here with my beautiful wife Karen, and then my son goes, and what does Karen like to do? And he goes, oh, she likes to go for a walk and yell at black people for raping her. I'm like, Drake. I was like, oh my God. But I'm like, it's so like what would you say about it? It's
Poor Karen.
But
Yeah,
obviously,
can you
poor
imagine if
actual
your name is Karen?
my
sad do you
sister-in-law
feel
is
right now?
Karen.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
And when Karen, the first movement started like a year and a half ago with Karen, it was Karen wants to talk to the manager. It was much sweeter.
it was way different.
It was just like, and
Like
that,
Karen's annoying.
But my sister-in-law, she's a really smart woman. She's really nice, but she is kind of that woman that's like, oh, no, we paid for this. We've been waiting 15 minutes. She's not going to like accuse anyone of being
Right.
But she's like, no, we have a right to, do this. So when that happened, I was like, oh, that's but now that everyone's being lumped in this,
Yeah.
where you're literally like,
Oh, Karen's racist. Karen asked for the manager. Karen is
Yeah.
annoying. Karen has bad hair. Karen wears mom jeans. Karen is Karen
Yeah.
is a woman.
Well,
I'm just so glad it's not Heather.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Because I'm like, right behind him. Except that Heather has always been seen
Oh,
as
Heather's like, Heather.
yeah, it's always
All because of Heather's.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we're like, yeah, Karen is the girl that wasn't president of the school, but she was like secretary.
Right.
And Heather is like the head cheerleader.
Cheerleader. That's
who
right.
like wants to have some fun, but also is like, really, we just want to keep the dance. We just don't want to cancel the dance.
Yeah, you're like
we don't want to cancel the good
concerned
time.
about like, right,
Yeah,
like, bring
like-
it on. Like,
yeah,
we're
like we don't.
You guys, I'm number crunching though. I'm number crunching right now, and this isn't going to work. Heather.
yeah, and she's doing, Karen's
Who
doing,
am I? Am I
Karen's
Karen?
doing yearbook.
Oh yeah,
you're
I
Karen.
do.
Yeah,
but
she's
I'm
treasurer.
crunching the numbers because I'm Karen, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
You be
I'm
Karen.
crunching the numbers.
I'll be Heather. Right, Heather.
Yeah. I got to crunch the numbers, and we just can't do the dance this year. We can't do it. Sorry, Heather.
Okay, but I really find that unfair because you guys were able to do your art thing, which like nobody went to, and everybody's going to go to the dance, and it is going to make money. And I'm sorry, but it's like a lot of us have dresses, have already made plans, have already gotten deposits on limos that we are never going to get back.
You know what? It's just really shallow because the art thing was for something really important, and that was for people who have diabetic ketoacidosis eczema, and it's really important that we help those people. Like, you know what? Going to the dance is just not going to do that. So I'm going to put that in my.
I'm not saying that that's not helping, but like, why we work really hard. We've gone to all the games as cheering
Yeah.
for it. We wore a sweater in 89 degrees.
You know what, Heather? I don't have a boyfriend. Okay, I don't have one. No boy likes me. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, so we're not having the dance.
Well, that's why we
So,
want to make it that
that's it.
everybody can go. And so instead of paying 100, you only have to pay 50, and you can still go, Karen, and we can all have some fun.
Yeah, but no one will talk to Karen, and also then you can also
Yeah.
give $10 as the town slut Brandy that comes from the other side of the tracks that everybody thinks is going to become a stripper. We could give some of the money to
Yeah,
the
Brandy.
Kilodoses Foundation
All right, you
for
guys,
the dance.
Here's how it's going to go. Brandy, Heather, I
Yeah.
will pay you each $500 if you can make Chad like me. Chad. Okay? Just if he will bring me to the dance, I will give you each $500 and I will write your term paper.
I don't know that Karen's
And-
smart enough to write the term paper, but maybe.
How
Are Karen's
dare you?
smart?
I did.
Oh, I guess they're not that
did
smart.
I'm not
have
sure.
a-
I'm turning it into
Okay,
Can't Buy Me
I
Love.
did have a girl at my high school, and that I knew was a lesbian, but she didn't know it. Or she didn't know,
Classic.
or she knew it, but she wasn't out.
Kinda like
And
JoJo
she was,
Siwa.
She was our, but our group was all like me, Heather's. But we loved her. She was so fun, but she was clearly like in love with my one friend. Like it was her birthday, and she's like, "It's Nikki's birthday week," and every day was like a sapphire ring and like really, really fancy. And I was like, who cares? Like, she's fucking great. So she could type really fast. And so she was typing my letters, but I was paying her for the papers, but she was doing Nikki's for free. And so
you just give her like a cool 30. Was she just typing your writing or did she write it
but
too?
she still came with us in our group, but it was like that same type of thing where like we can't get you Chad, but there's a public school boy that's like friends with the other ones and he's got like a chipped tooth. But
exactly, yeah.
he totally wants to go to the all.
It's like
'cause we were in
Bubba.
an all-girl high school. He wants to go, and that way all the guys know each other. Because that was always the other thing. Like girls were so accommodating. Like our guys have to know each other if we're gonna all go together. Like girls. Fucking, you just have to be friends with whatever sluts.
Oh, they don't even care. You're
Yeah.
just like, great, I don't know one person.
Yeah, but we
you
were
just
all like, no,
lurk
the guys
along.
have to know each other and get along. Yeah.
You guys, I love guys. I love guys, guys. It's me,
And
Jojo
is she
Siwa.
out now?
I love guys.
You guys, we could talk forever. Tell everybody where they can find you, follow you, you've been beloved and missed.
Well, we have a podcast called Dumb
But I
Gay
know a lot of
Politics.
people still listen to you, but yes.
I mean, that's being generous. But our podcast is called Dumb Gay Politics. If you want to, it's definitely not unbiased. I'll say that. And then we have a Patreon podcast for if you just want to hear us. We definitely can be offensive. We don't prepare anything. We don't edit it.
No.
So then we get into a situation where it's like, wow, we shouldn't have said that.
Sorry about the masks.
So,
Sorry about the masks.
but and then we talk about anything from JoJo Siwa
Everything.
to,
we
on
do
the Patreon.
songs.
No,
do...
we don't. What about the radio show that I did? Are you not doing that?
We're not doing that anymore
Okay.
because, right now it's like, especially with something like that, the money's not there, and we're very,
We don't have to
very,
keep this part in.
we're very materialistic. Oh, I mean, we are looking for the money. We have to. I'll go at if somebody said, I got lost $100 in your backyard. I want to get one of those things that goes do. If I see someone on a beach with it, I'm like,
Will you do OnlyFans?
what is that? Isn't that for like
I've never
porn
even
people?
heard of it.
You don't know about OnlyFans?
I thought it was porn people.
it is.
Oh, okay.
But it's for D-list celebrities or people that were like on the couch a few years ago that aren't doing anything now. You lick your own asshole, and you can have people pay. It's like a Patreon meets porn.
We've heard a lot of people. That's what Gerg
can't
is
even
doing well on.
get out of bed
Julie's
since I
concerned
can't-
she can't reach
I
her
can't
asshole.
bend over
She really
to
was
lick
like,
my
well, I can't
asshole."
physically do that.
That's just one trick that you could do. But I mean, it could be like there's this one girl that's on Basketball Wives. She's just only doing foot fetish stuff.
So that's kind of like people that when they eat, whatever that's called.
Oh,
Yes.
gross.
Muck
bagging
Yeah,
or whatever.
mukbanging.
But I mean, it can be
Mukbanging.
whatever you
Gross.
want.
Yeah.
Like for a while, I don't know if she got off, but Dorinda Medley was on it, and I think someone talked her into it. I don't think she was doing nudity stuff. I think she was showing like her private things in her closet or something. I think someone's like, oh, this could be the tier of like you only show it to OnlyFans, but it really is 99%.
Because it's a voyeur thing.
Porn,
so whether you're
and it's as sexy as you want to get. You want to just do like nudes that you can't show on Instagram, or do you want to do like even more stuff and then talking to your fans and all this stuff and subscription based and
I mean, we can't even get anyone to the Patreon. So
Hey guys, I'm gonna blow my nose in about 5 minutes. Okay,
OnlyFans, we get like
OnlyFans,
3.
Please check out my Just Fan page. It's called Blow My Nose. Then I'm gonna shave my legs. Who wants to watch it? Hot stuff, huh? You ever
Julie's going
seen
to
a
try to
woman
get
look
into
like a man?
wrestling, Heather. We're going to try to
Yeah.
get Julie as a wrestling referee. So we'll do an OnlyFans for Joan Law because we're really going to go take her to wrestling school.
okay, that sounds good.
Just to be a ref. There is, a salary to be made there.
It's like acting. It's performing, and it's amongst people who I can blend in with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe I'll grow my hair out.
I
and
mean,
have
you're fit, good looking. If they came to you and they were like, look, we want you and Stacey Keebler we just have to train you for 10 days. You're obviously athletic. It's not
I'm
real.
not athletic.
Well,
Listen,
they are very athletic.
no,
so that's hard.
actually, all that type of stuff that I thought I would one day want to do, the ship has sailed. I don't want to do that. I was just talking to Dr. Drew about how he did The Masked Singer, and it sounds like it's so much work. He had to learn like 10 songs. He got booted the first round.
I guessed.
And I was like, God, that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
When Dr. Drew,
I'll still
who's
do it if someone's
who's-
listening.
Exactly. You better do it. I was about to say, when Dr. Drew, who's an actual, he's a doctor.
He sought it out.
When he's
'cause a really
thirstier
good
than
singer.
us, we got. And I love Dr. Drew.
He loved it. He's like, because he likes to sing. He's like done the national anthem and stuff. He's like a really good singer. So he was like, why don't you get me on that show? And then they put him on it, and then they like put him up against Patti LaBelle or something.
Right.
Your voice would be so recognizable.
No, it would not. If I'm singing some song, no one would know. I'm not.
Well,
No one
your
would know.
speaking voice is beyond, and people listen to you, hours.
Okay, wait. I'm gonna do it, and you guys be the judges.
Okay.
And then because you can't guess right away.
Right. We
Okay.
have to make.
Oh,
okay,
please. We
okay,
know
okay.
exactly how they do it.
Okay. Okay.
Okay,
so
hold
I'm gonna give my clues.
I grew up in a family of 5, not too far from the Hollywood sign. I always wanted to make people laugh, but I'm also busy giving my kids one time a bath. I don't know that why. I don't think this has to rhyme, but anyway, I like to hold a microphone, not just to sing. I also like to greet people as they sit down and I stand up. Guess who I am?
Now,
Okay.
here's a trick they do.
Okay.
This is
Okay.
a move. I don't know if you
Okay.
watch that show.
Okay.
They like to lead you. They know who it is. They like to lead you there. So on this point, here's where I'd go. Okay, I'm sensing I think it might be it could be Chelsea Handler because they're gonna start
Oh, because
getting
they're
in
into.
your
I heard the
orbit.
word comedy.
Or no, she said she stands
They always
up.
pick.
Oh.
They always pick too big of people that would never be on the show. By the way,
Oh.
so they
Well,
start
she
out
probably
with
would.
like they guessed like Dr. Drew was Howard Stern.
Right.
Right.
Oh,
Okay,
they
so
do
go
that
on.
every time.
Okay, so go
Or
on.
they'll be like, "Is it Chris Brown?" And it's like, "No," and in fact, it isn't. But okay, so like they will do Chelsea Handler for you.
Yeah.
They're
Standing
putting
up, right.
or in your orbit.
I heard likes to walk and likes to breathe. So
She's doing Ken.
I'm going to go with Mariska Hargitay.
But that's not even. There's got to be someone from the Housewives because you hang out with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Someone
Wait,
I hear.
I want to. Well, we have it on here, but I'm also if you want to fill. Okay, so because
Oh, and they'll be like, her legs are long. She's
Ooh.
she has a
Tall
good body.
Yeah, I'm
gonna go with it's got to be like a tall X model.
with Giselle Bundchen.
Yeah, exactly.
okay. So are you ready to hear me sing now?
Yes.
Now I really want to get their reactions because you know how it's like they're like, and then something like, okay, just getting your song. I know how to sing. I probably will never be able to use this because I think like other people have
right,
used
of
it.
rights?
They're
Okay.
running out of the songs. Okay, no, not in our dumb show. I'm saying on the show now. Okay. Let's give them something to talk about. A little mystery to figure out. Let's give them something to talk about. How about love, love, love? I look so foolish. I keep you coming, yeah. Could they be falling for you? It took a rumor to make the
Your fucking voice.
Oh my God.
Jesus.
Oh my God. Crying. What you've done right now
Yes.
is show
Yes, I'm a
what
grasshopper.
you've done right now, grasshopper, is show giant grasshopper, or maybe your locust. I don't know, but either way, giant bug, you have shown your vulnerability.
I feel like that was better than Candy. I think Candy Burris sang that. I'm not even kidding. First of all, I was like, that's the wrong song for Candy. She can go way. That was, your voice is raspy and good.
Now, have you changed your idea of who I might be? Now that's going to change your idea, right?
I'm going to think it's Bonnie Raitt. I think because they love to do that now. Brett Michaels sang his own song. And it was like, don't have Brett Michaels
Yep.
sing badly. Every rose has its thorn. I'm going to think it's Bonnie Raitt, guys. I think she came.
Yeah. God, you know what?
It could be Melissa Etheridge.
It could,
Not skinny enough. Not skinny enough.
No, not tall enough.
Yeah.
Not tall enough. That's what I was going to say, Melissa Etheridge. Yes, but you know what? Not tall enough. You know what? Bonnie Raitt. It could be Chrissy Hines. Chrissy Hines.
I got a better one.
Go.
Gwyneth Paltrow. She did
That's
the
it.
country
That's
movie.
It. That's it.
You nailed the and
Yes.
if you're featuring a Gwyneth Paltrow guest, it's on. If you don't let us get in the audience to be
Okay,
seat
so
fillers,
now-
paid seat fillers.
Now, I've gotten the boot, and I'm going to take off my grasshopper
Okay.
head,
Okay.
and you guys are going to react.
But
okay?
right now, first of all, wait, I gotta
What?
say, Robin Thicke has already now floated the guests. Somebody's gotten it right now. Like
Okay.
Jenny McCarthy, this would be crazy, but I know she's been on my show on Sirius.
Oh, you mean okay,
I think
right?
I think
right.
it could be. It could be Heather
I
McDonald.
know I've met her. I
Yeah.
know I've met her. I know she said something about a luncheon or a party, and I believe that I remember
Right.
that one time.
Are you guys ready to see who I am?
Okay.
And then the forever taking off. Don't push that over.
No! No! What?
And it's like, Jenny, you did it again. You got it again.
The smoothness, the tone,
The level of
the
talent.
pitch, the talent, the vulnerability. It was all there.
They need you on the show because
I
Anna.
had so much fun. I've just been sweating up a storm at being this grasshopper. I'm so glad it's done, but I want to thank everybody for having
Will
me.
you say that in your clues, like, I felt like I've gone, I need to prove myself again because that's not.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I need to prove myself. People have doubted me. I feel like something happened.
The real clue should be like, I've been around a long time. Very few people know who I am. But the ones who know who I am are pretty fucking into me. I kept thinking things would make me break through and be a hit. It's never happened.
Perfect.
Someone dropped out yesterday.
These are
And that is
hints
why
they
I
need.
am here. I have a podcast like every other person on earth.
Oh, they'll show you with a mic, but it'll
Yeah.
be weird. It'll be like in space.
Yes, and I also do stand up and I'm funny. But I'm not your typical looking stand up. Maybe that would be it. But what's typical looking? Nothing anymore. So
Well, I can say Anna Gasteyer, and I don't know if you've watched the old ones. She blew.
She was
my
on it?
mind,
Yeah.
and her voice.
well, no, I knew her I knew her from Groundlings, and she's like a very well trained singer. She has like cabaret albums and stuff.
Oh, I had no
no,
idea.
she's
So
a really good singer.
I literally almost lost my lifestyle when I saw that. I was like, oh my God, she sang great. Kelly Osbourne was on it, sang incredible.
yeah.
So that's the kind of thing when someone can sing and you're not expecting it like you can, it's like, and just make sure you pick your songs perfectly. Like, don't get pushed in.
Well, the thing is,
dumb direction.
But yeah, there's only so many they can do, or then you learn it and they go, someone else picks it, or we want you to do this, and then it's not totally in your range, and there's nothing you can do about it. That's what I
Well,
heard is
you could
hard.
do every JoJo Siwa song too.
We did.
Oh,
Well, we
true.
didn't need Sarah Palin singing "Baby Got Back."
Oh yeah,
I
that
know
was ridiculous. Yeah. Well,
That was the highlight.
Yeah,
I mean, you gotta.
Heather, you're going on.
Yeah, you gotta go.
Thanks, you guys. Well, I
Will you
really look
text us
forward
and
to
let
being
us know?
judges when
If
I'm
you,
on.
if you get, oh, you're not allowed.
No, you're not
You're
allowed.
not allowed. You're
Oh,
supposed
you
to.
can't even let your kids know.
Yeah. What are
Like-
you gonna do? Leave in a weird limo? Be like, bye guys.
Yeah.
And literally immediately Drake's gonna be like, oh, she's doing the Masked Singer. I can tell.
Yeah, he
Like
probably should be
she's
able to figure-
singing in the shower. I can tell. You know.
Yeah.
Well, I think you're gonna do it. It's pretty
One,
exciting.
what would be really exciting is that my kids absolutely do not appreciate my singing at all, including my husband.
Do you sing around the house?
I sing around the house. I like to sing at like restaurants if someone's singing, you know, I get excited that there's like live music. So I started to sing along with like this guy was just doing, you know, some whatever, you know, like a Fleetwood Mac song or something, you know, cover band, whatever. And I'm just sitting, I'm far away from the guy. I'm sitting next to my husband and I'm just kind of like singing along with, you know, Sarah, when you build your house, then call me. And he goes, you know how you don't like it when people finish your joke because you've said it so many times and they've come a few times and you've heard them in the audience say your joke. He's like, don't you think that's the way the musician feels? And I go, no, I don't think that's how the musician feels. First of all, it's not his song. It's Nikki Sixx. I'm far away.
yeah.
And songs are meant to be sung.
Yeah,
apparently
so
you
it's a
feel that
completely
way.
different thing than, you know, yeah. So you guys have been awesome. Love you.
Oh, thank
Love you.
Everybody, check them out and listen to their podcast, and let's do what we can to not make them A, start a pageant, or B, become wrestling referees.
Referee, just her.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, like we don't need that to happen in life.
Well, I do have to go through the full wrestling training in order for that to happen. Just saying. We did learn that.
Thank you.